right, let's move on to Black Friday. This is 1940. That's directed by Arthur Lubin. It was originally supposed to be titled Friday the 13th. Well, this is a brain transplant tale. A college professor is injured. At the same time, so is a notorious gangster. Well, they're both rushed to the hospital. And in the hopes of saving the educator's life, a friend slash doctor uses part of the gangster's brain. Well, the professor lives, the gangster dies, and the teacher's personality is essentially possessed, and he goes on a killing spree. A gentle educator becomes a murderous gangster. Now, this film had drastic changes in casting. Bela was originally cast as the gangster, but the director, Lubin, scraps the footage. He's not happy with it. And he replaces Bela with Stanley Ridges. Then he gives Bela a supporting role as compensation, a fellow gangster named Marnie. Now, the publicity department, aware that these changes would eliminate scenes between Karloff and Lugosi, add a bizarre note to Bela's role. There's a gimmick, a realism gimmick, injected into Bela's death scene. The actor submits to a professional hypnotist on the set, in the presence of the cast and crew, and of course newspapermen and radio people. This is also put on Universal newsreels. Well, it's a lot of hokum, of course, but it gave Bela an extra bit of oomph in the movie. The script is by the great Kurt Siedmack, the writer, director, and novelist. And there's a close relationship to Donovan's Brain, between Black Friday and his classic novel and film, Donovan's Brain. Black Friday has some exciting scenes, but it's not really a true Karloff-Lugosi movie. All right, let's move on to You'll Find Out. This is 1940, whose original title was The Old Professor. This is directed by David Butler. This is essentially a Kay Kaiser comical big band leader vehicle. The plot is an overused one. Three con men are out to murder a young heiress for her fortune. Well, the three con men are played by Lugosi, who poses as a turbaned Swami, Karloff, who plays the family doctor, and Laurie, who plays a bogus scientist. And essentially, there's matching menaces in a titanic struggle. Kay Kaiser essentially quakes his way through the film into a hero. This is an intentionally silly movie that contains horror ingredients. There's lots of big band music, radio comedians, wisecracks aimed at the supernatural. The movie does have a mysterious, atmospheric old house. Fierce thunderstorms, secret passages, sliding panels, weird props, and a spooky seance. It's really a routine haunted house comedy, but it's an entertaining, fun movie. At this point in time, circa 1940, horror and sci-fi films are really at a low ebb. The genres are in limbo, but they're soon to be reawakened. For example, the great movie The Wolfman and the great producer Val Lewton. All right, now let's move on to Val Lewton, The Body Snatcher, 1945. This is the last collaboration between Lugosi and Karloff, and this is directed by Robert Wise. Now, The Body Snatcher is a tremendous movie. It's a superbly controlled film. It's strikingly literate. It's a striking literate reworking of Robert Louis Stevenson's story that's based on the historical Burke and Hare episodes. Essentially, the movie, along with Stevenson's story, is a moral clash between the infamous Dr. Knox, who's named McFarlane in the film, played by Henry Daniels, and the body snatcher Karloff. The basis is in literature and history. There's a sense of lost virtue, lost conscience in this movie. The film is a philosophical discourse. between the nature of good and evil. Now, Bela's role is manufactured to work him into the movie. The role is created for him, and Bela succeeds in making the part stand out. He's quiet. He gives an effective performance as the doctor's dull-witted servant. There's an unforgettable scene between Bela and Boris as Lugosi tries to blackmail Karloff, the grave robber. Now, despite the low budget, this is a great production. The exteriors were shot on the streets and alleyways of the old Hunchback of Notre Dame set at RKO Studios. And there's excellent use of chiaroscuro lighting that provides a moody and provocative atmosphere. The city of Edinburgh is a sad city of grisly dark shadows, a castle looming in the mist, a sense of unspeakable blasphemy in the air. There's a jolting, hair-raising climax in The Body Snatcher. A bravura final scene that's still a nifty shocked ending that's still very, very effective. A carriage is illuminated by bolts of lightning as Henry Daniel, the doctor, thinks he is being haunted by Karloff's corpse, which he has just strangled. Henry Daniel is absolutely excellent in this movie. He's a great character actor, and he has a field day with his role in this film. As I mentioned, sadly, this was the last film for Lugosi and Karloff together. But when we come back, we're going to get into more of Bela Lugosi's amazing career. But first, a little bit more music. This is Jethro Tull with a song entitled March, the Mad Scientist.